San Jose State is 2-0 after a convincing win against University of New Mexico at home in San Jose. They have a tough opponent coming up this weekend in the San Diego Aztecs, a game that will be played in Carson, which is in the Orange County, LA area. Another 2-0 team. It should be a great matchup. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Spear Football Preview Show, edition number 3. I'm your host, Ryan Carlson, and along with me I have Max Miller, Derek Au, and Caleb Ramos. Gentlemen, it's good to see you. And two of us were at the game on Saturday, Derek and Caleb. So, gentlemen, what was your experience like there, and how exciting was that game?
Well, first off, great to be back with you guys. I was fortunate enough to broadcast the game for KSJS FM, our student radio station here at San Jose State. First time I was back on air in, I believe, 9 months, Ryan, because we did the broadcast together for baseball. Overall, it was an amazing performance by Nick Starkel. Man, he threw some dimes to Bailey Gaither, to Trey Walker, and Trey Walker made some insane catches, got SportsCenter top 10 plays on Saturday. So unbelievable.
Number one on the top 10.
Yes.
Number one.
5 touchdowns, Bailey Gaither with over 200 yards receiving, Trey Walker, with, I believe, 13 or 12 catches. And the defense stepped up in the second half. There were a couple, Tavaka Tuioti, the New Mexico quarterback, contributed to the Lobos offense, had 3 total touchdowns in the first half. But overall, it was just a phenomenal performance for the Spartans. First time they're 2-0 since 1987. That's the year my parents got married. And they're trying to get to 3-0, which will be the first time they've done that since, I believe, 1982. And John Elway was at Stanford. So this is a big game, and I would say probably one of the biggest games in the Brett Brennan tenure. But it was an amazing experience. We did it safely, broadcasting, and overall it was a good experience. And Spartans win 2-0.
Yeah, same page with Derek. I mean, story of the game, Nick Starkel. I was a big fan of his sleeve. I don't know if you guys saw that. The infinite ammo cheat code. I don't know if we're going to give him that nickname, but he was awesome. And, well, he didn't do it alone. Like Derek said, Gaither and Walker, those amazing catches. But overall, it's a team effort. And Brennan really got these guys going. I love all the camera shots of him on the sideline when he's fired up or when he's mad at the officials with those flags. But they're looking at 2-0, and San Diego State definitely 2-0 as well. So it's going to be an awesome.
Yeah, going to be a tough contest against San Diego State. They're coming off a 38-7 win against the Utah State Aggies, who are now 2-0. And again, this game will be played in Carson because the Aztecs, they're building a new stadium down here in San Diego that is under construction, and they're not playing at Qualcomm. Not sure exactly why they're up in Carson as opposed to a local facility down here in San Diego, but less travel for San Jose State and 2-0 teams. Max, what was your interpretation of the last game?
All I'm going to say is, 1, the under wins again. 2, did I not say Brent Brennan was going to open up the playbook and go wild with Nick Starkel? That's exactly what happened. The defense was good, better in the second half, third quarter. They started shutting it down a little bit more. We're going to need better this week. But, man, Nick Starkel is a bad, bad man. 467 yards, I believe, on the Fox, the FS1 broadcast. They said he has, for all 5 of his touchdowns, I think it was over 130 yards passing, maybe more, or something like that, for just his touchdown passes. That's insane. It's a third of his passing yards came from the touchdown passes, which is insane to think about. He did get a little banged up, but he hung in there. He's tough. He's hung in there. And again, Caleb, I love the arm sleeve just like you did. I think it's gives him some passion, gives the San Jose State team some flair that it needed, right? It's getting them some publicity, and they're showing some promise, and keep it rolling. Big game this week, and let's see what happens.
The Aztecs will be aiming to get at Starkel. Obviously, his power was on display last game. Max, 5 touchdowns and 467 yards you referenced. He went 34 for 47. Unbelievable outing for the new graduate transfer, San Jose State. And what a catch by Trey Walker. If you didn't see that, definitely go look it up. Made, again, number 1, SportsCenter top 10. So go check it out. Hey, I want to hear from Derek and Caleb. What was that like, seeing that catch in person? And Derek, were you able to call that one?
So the second one, the second one that made the top 10 list, I thought he was out of bounds because our vantage point was at the 30-yard line, 35-yard line, and we were on closer to the south end zone. And the touchdown was at where the ginormous scoreboard was, which I mentioned like 12 times during the broadcast. If you have a drinking game at home, you probably won that drinking game. But yeah, apparently his I think his left foot just grimmed the turf at SJSU Stadium, and I saw it on we saw it on replay about 5, 6, 7 different times with the two scoreboards, and I mean it was an unbelievable catch. I didn't think he caught it to begin with. It was a good throw by Starkle. I thought it was just a little bit out of Walker's hands, but he just dragged his toe down. In college, you only need 1 foot. Then obviously, I gave the longest touchdown call ever because that replay view took about like 5, 6 minutes, and he's like, touchdown Spartans.
Hey, how was the scoreboard? We didn't get a look. You said the scoreboard. They even mentioned it on the Fox broadcast. How was the scoreboard? I don't mean to interrupt, but you said the scoreboard. How was it?
Yeah, so I'll bet you that. But no, Trey Walker, I mean, he's the heart and soul of that offense, along with Bailey Gaither, who, I think Trey Walker's more of the flair personality, as you see. He was just yelling at New Mexico sideline, and, he's running up and down the sideline. His teammates, the non-dress players in the seats, were loving it as well. The scoreboard was pretty cool. It shows the commitment level of the athletic department to improve the facilities on South Campus within the past 4 to 5 years. So it's a pretty cool addition. I know whenever the pandemic passes, and hopefully next year we will have fans in the seats, they'll get to experience it for themselves. But no, I really loved it. They have a lot of stats on there, like time of possession, which I was kind of referring to on the broadcast. Because on the south end zone, that scoreboard's so small, so you can't really tell, a good, decent replay. But no, it's a nice feature to, I guess you say an aging relic in SFQ Stadium, and they're adding a little bit of love to it. So overall, Trey Walker just played his tail off. And if the highlight didn't show you on Saturday why him and Gaither are one of the best wide receiving duos, not only in the Mountain West, but in the country.
Yeah, I want to go back to the first touchdown catch. You saw that and you're like, wow, this dude's awesome. I believe there was a defensive pass interference call on that one too. Doesn't matter, you made the catch. You're like, wow, he's awesome. And then the second one, at first it's like, oh, he caught it, but was his foot down? And then you watch the replays and you see him when he catches it, he's yelling at the ref, or he's like, review that, or I definitely touched down. And that's one of the most spectacular catches I've ever seen. Not to speaking hyperbole, but that was awesome. And one thing to note too, he doesn't wear gloves. So I don't know if he's got some special hands that's different than all of us, but listed at 5'11", but he can definitely catch anything you throw his way. And for him to have Starkroll throwing him the ball, it's awesome. It's just like, it's fun to watch. It's like every play you want to find Walker running down the sideline or wherever he is. And I think he can catch anything, honestly.
Now, the run game is still struggling for San Jose State. I mean, the most rushing yards was gathered by Isaiah Holiness, 9 carries, 31 yards, no touchdowns via rushing last game. So that still has to be an area of improvement, but not as much when your quarterback's performing like he did on Saturday. On the other side of the football, coming up this weekend for the Aztecs, they have a duo by the names of Greg Bell and Chance Bell. If they're brothers, I'm not sure. I got to do some more research. I wouldn't be surprised. But both running backs, and they combined for over 200 yards rushing against Utah State. And that's got to be an area of focus for the San Jose State defense coming up on Friday.
Yeah, you look at what they did to them last year. I know that's my go-to is what happened last year. But the same thing ran true as it did as San Diego State's last game. San Diego State last year against San Jose State ran the ball 55 times, 285 yards and 2 touchdowns. They only needed to throw the ball 20 times. So, look, the goal line defense, the goal line D-line has been terrific for San Jose State once they get down there. It's the in-between run plays that are killing them right now. It's not been bad, but it hasn't been good. It's been all right. The goal line stands great, and I don't know if that's just a momentum thing, knowing how big that play is, preventing them the need of, we got to stop him, compared to, if he gets 2 or 3, it's okay. I don't know if it's a mentality thing or a skillful thing, but this can be I think it's going to be a lot like the Air Force game, except I think San Diego State's offense is going to be a little bit more capable of breaking off bigger plays. I think they've got some more skill on their team, as well as their quarterback. I mean, you can't blame them. They could surprise us all and just run play actions and go nuts. But San Jose State needs to key on the rushing game and the defensive end, and on the offensive end, they need to get the rushing game going. It can't be all Starkel all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Starkel can only do so much, but there's some potential there in the San Jose State backfield for some big gains if they can exploit the San Diego defense this Friday. It'll be kind of a neutral site for both teams. Obviously, no fans in attendance at the new. Derek, I'm going to need your help here. What's the stadium that they're playing in?
Well, originally it was the Home Depot Center, and I like to call it the house that Landon Donovan built, even though he broke my heart as an Earthquakes fan when he left for greener pastures in LA and, won 4 MLS Cups, 3 MLS Cups there in Los Angeles or in Carson, let's be real. But yeah, it's Dignity Health Sports Park. Of course, the Chargers played there for the past 3-4 years before they went to Inglewood at SoFi Stadium, and it's going to be unique circumstances. This season is unique, but obviously San Diego State, they're building a new stadium right next to the old Qualcomm, SDSU, whatever, they keep changing that name down there. So that's going to replace that old beauty of a stadium. And I remember Qualcomm, Barry Bonds hit a home run off the scoreboard back in like 2000 and, when Ryan was a kid when he remembers that, so he knows what's up. But yeah, they're playing at Dignity Health Sports Park. It's going to be unique. Obviously no fans there. But yeah, I think, the Aztecs, they won the last 7 meetings in a row. So if, last year, Fresno State won the last 2 and San Jose State broke that streak. So I think this is like a checklist that Coach Brandon's going off of. Beat a really caliber opponent, Power 5 caliber opponent, Arkansas, win back the Valley Trophy, Fresno State, and now really just end the streak that goes back to 2013. So it's going to be a fun night on my birthday, November 6th. So yeah, I will be watching that game, obviously, but
Well, happy early birthday to Mr. Derek Al. And the Spartans have been breaking records all season long, and Starkel has been a great fit, replacing Josh Love from last season. So could this be the game that turns the tide and has a different outcome like we're used to? The Aztecs usually having the upper hand. They're both 2-0 teams. Should be interesting to watch. I think it might be more of a defensive game, although both quarterbacks can air it out. I wouldn't be surprised to see some low scoring, at least in the start. So with that, let's get to our 3 keys and our individual predictions, which, by the way, Max won the prediction last week for the San Jose State versus University of New Mexico game.
What can I say? I knew it was going to happen.
But here's the thing. If you watched our last preview show, they were all pretty close predictions. Derek predicted a 38-10 San Jose State win, and you might think, well, how did he not win the prediction then? And Max predicted a 35-14 Spartan win. And if you calculate the net points of how many they were off, Max was off by 10. Derek was off by 11. So that's how we came up with that.
There's no recount available. I'm sorry, Derek, but we can't allow any sort of recount.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, I just won. That's all.
Whoa. This is a football show,
Of course. I think they're going to win this week, too.
Yeah, by the way, hopefully you all voted. Please, y'all voted, hopefully, by now, because we all need it.
Yeah, those were supposed to be in quite a long time ago. But what a crazy week it's been. Should be a good football game coming up on Friday. Max, 3 keys and prediction.
Okay, 3 keys. First one off the bat, I touched on it. Be better on the D line, stopping the run, not at the goal line. That is key. Step 2, key 2, run game. Get it going. I don't know if this is the game to get it going, but get it going. And step 3, have fun and let Nick Starkel throw the ball. I tried to say his name backwards. Let him throw the ball again and protect him a little better this game. He was incredible last game. I don't know if he can repeat that, but clearly he found his 2 favorite targets in Trey Walker and Bailey Gaither. I think if one of the 2 have a good day, Gaither had 10 catches, 208 yards. That's becoming, I think, more of his favorite target than Trey Walker. Caleb said it before. That's his flashy – Trey Walker's the flashy guy. Bailey Gaither is that safety net. Bailey Gaither's that Julian Edelman, that slot guy, the Chris Godwin. he's a good player and is showing what he can do on the field. So step 1, stop the run game not at the goal line. Continue the goal line. Step 2, get your run game going. Step 3, have some fun on the offense and let Nick Starkel go crazy. I'm thinking, for my prediction, I'm thinking it's going to be that's a 28-24 San Jose State win on a game-winning field goal. 27-24. My apologies. 27-24 final on a game-winning field goal for San Jose State from 37 yards.
That's quite specific. But I too think it'll be a very close and nail-biting game. Derek, what do you think?
Wow, Max had to correct himself on some of these predictions here. But and by the way, Matt Mercurio could be kicking that 37-yard field goal. Number 1 is Brady Hoke, who's the new head coach taking over for Rocky Lawn, who we saw last week. He's the New Mexico defensive coordinator. Brady Hoke, lengthy coaching history, coached at San Diego State 2009-10, and had a really solid career at Michigan as the head ball coach up at the Big House in Ann Arbor. His teams are known for physicality. I think San Jose State is going to have to get physical especially in the trenches, offensive line. They only allowed 1 sack last week. But San Diego State, they bring a more diverse pass rush than Air Force and New Mexico combined. So it's going to be tough. Can Nick Starkel make throws on the run? And I feel like if he can do that, it'll be a good night for the offense. I think number 2 is they need to get creative more on the run game. I'm seeing a lot of lot of lanes closing down. I think they need to get inventive with some jet sweeps. Use Isaiah Holiness. Maybe use Tyler Nevins, who almost scored a touchdown actually on the goal line. Got stopped in the early fourth quarter. So I think if they can get more creative, maybe run some jet sweep designs or maybe do some bubble screens, I think that's going to be key for Kevin McGivern and that offensive team and the offense coordinator for Kevin McGivern, Ryan Gunderson, and of course Coach Brennan. And then number 3 is obviously end the streak. That's it, end the streak. I think we've seen a trend with San Jose State. They beat a Power 5 opponent in Arkansas last year. They beat Fresno State, got the Valley Trophy back. They have not beaten San Diego State since all 4 of us, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, all 4 of it are full. All 4 student jurists. I'm struggling here. Maybe it's too much election watching, but that's a different story for a different day. We were all in high school. So I think a lot of it has to do with just show up and have fun. And the defense needs to step up early because they stepped up in the third and fourth quarter. They bended but did not break. I think they have to do it for all 4 quarters if they want to be a caliber opponent and a powerhouse basically in the West Coast of college football in San Diego State. And prediction-wise, I'm feeling it's going to be a close game all 4 quarters. I see Nick Starkel's not going to have 4 or 5 touchdowns against San Diego State unless, he magically has them cheat codes on his sleeve, more cheat codes on his sleeve, as Caleb will mention. But I'm feeling a San Diego State win. It's going to come down to the defense. I feel like San Diego State has more of a rushing defense. Their scoring defense, they're only allowing 6 points a game. They haven't, so it's going to be close. I'm going to go with 23-21 Aztecs. It's going to come down to that final drive, and I feel like San Diego State will do just enough to escape Carson 3-0.
Yeah, I was going to mention that San Diego State's defense only allowing under 7 points a game. So my first key was the receivers of Gaither, Walker, and I threw in Holiness as well versus that San Diego State defense. That's your bread and butter with Starkel. Obviously, you're going to want to get the run game going, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going to those guys. Keep going to Gaither. Keep going to Walker. Throw in Holiness if you want, whatever receivers you got. Dump it off to them. Make the big plays. Number 2, Ryan touched on the Bell brothers, Bell siblings, same Bell running backs versus San Jose State defense. Together, they have 5 touchdowns on the year combined and a lot of rushing yards too. So stop the run. The Aztecs quarterback isn't too bad either. Baker completing about 57% of his passes, throwing for 300 yards this year, 3 touchdowns. So maybe make him throw the ball more, get the ball out of the Bell's hands, out of the rushing yards. And then for number 3, I'm going to say get to a fast start. I feel like the past 2 games, first quarter has been lackadaisical. I know last game 0-0 game at the end of the first quarter. Maybe try something new in that. Get something going in the first quarter. And as far as prediction, I went with 30-27 San Jose State. Break the streak. 3-0.
How long's the game-winning field goal?
I was gonna. You touched on that. I'm gonna throw in Matty Ice 46-yard field goal. I said 46 for something that's going on in the world right now, or in the U.S. 46 is a significant number. I don't know if that made sense to you guys.
It sure is. Solid predictions, you guys. And it's going to, they're a well-rounded team, San Diego State. And the Spartans can go to the air, but they got to get the run game going. And so that's going to be a big key down in Carson. And prediction, I think it's going to be a close game. But I'm going to go 24-21. I'm going to go with the winning field goal theme we're doing. I think Matt Mercurio for San Jose State is going to notch one. And before you ask, Max, I don't know. Let's go 43-yard field goal for the win. I think it's going to be close. There seems to always be a super close, exciting game each season for San Jose State football. I remember last season up in Reno, Nevada against the Wolfpack, the Spartans lost a heartbreaker at the very end to a field goal. And I think this is where they rectify that loss and break the streak, like Caleb said, against the Aztecs, who have always been a thorn in the side of San Jose State football, at least for the past number of games they have seen each other out there on the field. It should be interesting.
So it's on the other media partner of the Mountain West. It will be on CBS Sports Network. So check your local listings. And it'll also be on radio affiliates with Justin Algieri. Hopefully, Justin, you don't lose your voice, please. We need that golden pipes to say, touchdown, San Jose State. And student radio will not be on air this week. We do not do the road games. We'll be back on air next week when the UNLV running Rebels come running to San Jose. You like that pun there?
I love it. Yep. Big contest the weekend after. And the Spartans are 2-0. They're going to look to build on that, as are the Aztecs, also 2-0. Friday night, 6 p.m., CBS Sports Network. Spartans visiting the Aztecs in Carson, outskirts of Los Angeles. It's going to be a good one. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me on this football preview show with the Spear. And we hope you are all able to tune in. Comment below what you think the score will be this Friday. We'd love to hear from you. And we hope you enjoy the game, everyone. Stay safe. Stay healthy. It's a very unique time in this country. And we're almost over with 2020. Seems like time is moving faster as we go along. So, from all of us here at The Spear, enjoy the game, and we will see you next time on our football preview show.